Hello. Happy Friday evening. Happy Venus's Day. I just got done I joined Natoya Hall's and Jen Marumba's offering called Root and Receive. I think that they're considering offering it once a month, maybe even twice a month now. And so it was amazing. It was beautiful. I really trust those two to hold such powerful, potent, and restful space, connected space. But I went deep into meditation, and usually after things like that, I'm like, okay, the rest of the night I'm in silence, I'm in such stillness, I'm moving really slowly, and I still feel like I'm a little bit in that space, but I felt called, almost, possessed to pull the cards and to come and tap in here and kind of drop a line and put some energy out to community and to like-minded souls and to kin and to receive back. So this Sunday, if anyone is interested, I can't believe it. I took this long of a break. I looked back on when I last did it. I think it was almost 2 years ago that I was going to say, I stopped. I put a pot. Let's see. Maybe I should not have come on after such a deep meditation. We'll see if I can make words happen, but I felt very called to, so it'll even out. But, I put a pause on the new moon ceremonies, and that was almost 2 years ago now. And I have felt to, start doing them again. I make no promise that I'll do them regularly, but where I'm at right now is that I feel really called to do it again. And it's no surprise that the first one that I feel that call and that we're going to do is a new moon in Taurus. We're in this Taurus season. I'm a Taurus sun, Taurus Mercury. My Chiron is in Taurus. So I have a lot of strong Taurus energy, and we're going to be holding ceremony for that this Sunday at 5:00. That's Mountain Time. So do you love how you can tell that I'm in Utah? Mountain Time. And if you can't make it live, yes, you can register and still get the recording if you feel called. And so there's a little bit like a day and a half left to register. I won't close registration until probably about maybe the morning of, or about two hours before. So just know that is something that is there for you if you feel so called. And I mean, geesh, how's everyone hanging in there? How's everyone doing? These times are like nothing else. These times are like nothing else. And that's in the most amazing ways. That's in the most intense ways. That's in the most draining ways and exhausting ways and exasperating of ways. Fill in the blank, with whatever words can come to you. It's all the things. It's all the things. So how are we all doing? I'm doing, if someone were to ask me, how are you doing? I would just say all of the things. That's what I would say. All the things. And the stuff that's been coming through right now, the most for me, this is a new container for me. I have spent December through the beginning of March preparing to step into a new container, getting all of the messages about it, getting prepared for it mentally, physically, emotionally, energetically, getting the data about it and combing through what belief systems need to be shed and what indoctrinations do I need to uncover and shed. What blinders do I need to drop, release. I was just about to do a whole thing on just the blinders, the illusions that have been falling away, so that I can step into this new container. So for me, and I think I'm right on track. If you look at what happens in a person's life, as far as the astrological transits and so many other things, in like a week and a half. It's like a little less than a week and a half is my birthday, and I turn 45. And so like that mid 40s, I know that that's a time for numerous reasons. I know again that there's astrological things that happen too. That it's time to, it's stepping into this whole new way of being. And this time, just like we did in like our late teens, and then again in our late 20s, but it's like this time having amassed a certain amount of knowledge and having amassed a certain amount of experience under our belt. Don't know everything, not perfect at everything. Don't even think that's the point. So who cares? But have amassed a certain amount of experience and knowledge, and taking that is informing the whole process of moving into a new container. You know, there's been so much, that threshold energy has been so strong. That threshold energy has been everything, you know, and some people, threshold energy, some people say, oh, I'm living in free fall. You could call it the free fall too. I'm living in the void. I'm living while being in relationship with the unknown. And with the unknown comes, with the unknown for me has come a lot of trepidation and even fear, because it's the unknown. And, you know, with the unknown, there's fear, you know, and I've been forced to go into such relationship with the unknown and been surprised, but not surprised, been shocked, but not surprised, been in awe, but not surprised, that all I find in the unknown is more of myself. Has it been myself that I've been scared of the whole time? Has it been this why do I feel like crying all of a sudden? Except for I know why. Has it been this level of freedom that I've actually been scared of the whole time, even though I've been saying my whole life, or at least since I turned 28, 29, Saturn return. It's what I've been saying I want. It's what I've been fighting for. It's been what I've been working for. It's been the motivation and the drive and the why behind everything that I've been doing. Is I just want to be free. I am so committed to the liberation of me and my soul and my sovereignty and my autonomy. And now that it's actually happening, that's the container that I'm stepping into. I've been doing it, you know, it's all a step that leads to a step that leads to another step that leads to another step, right? But now that I'm like more than ever stepping into it, one of the many things that I've been sitting in wonderings with is, have I actually been scared of this level of freedom all along? All I'm finding in the unknown, as I have been forced to, it's me doing it all, be in such deep relationship with the unknown. All I'm finding is more of myself. That's all I'm finding in the unknown. And so therefore it's me that's becoming known to me. And I'm introducing myself to myself even more. I'm meeting myself even more. I felt to pull some cards. And so we're going to do a few cards for this Friday night. Nothing super deep. I don't even know why I pull cards anymore. I already knew what was going to come up. I already know what's we already know. Look, I only pulled 3, and I know the theme of all 3 of these. And then the third one. This is everything that's happening right now. This is everything that's happening right now. And this one, I actually, in between sleep and awake, the past few mornings, this one has come to me. So that's why I'm like, do I even need to actually pull physical cards anymore? Although I love touching them, and I love being in relationship with them, and they love to be touched. They just get pulled, and then they're right there in my space, you know. But this is everything that's happening right now. Everything that's happening right now. Swords is ruled by air. It's brain chemistry work, you know, it's the merging of the conscious and the unconscious minds. And so there's an interesting thing too about why I say this is everything that's happening right now, is that the symbolism of this card, we could do an hour-long thing of it. And, you know, when we're in the 9s, that's pretty progressed, you know. In the tarot, the cards go, you know, there we have the 3 lines of the major arcana. We have the 21 cards of the major arcana, and it's 3 lines of 7 each. And then there's, each suit. So you've got swords, cups, wands, and pentacles, and, swords is ruled by air. And then in the other cards, they go from a journey from, the aces to the tens. And so it's about the journey. It's showing a lot about that journey, the progression through, the aces, and then the twos, and then the threes, and where are we at now in the sixes and the sevens. And when we get to a 9, we're really progressed through a certain part of that journey. We've, again, amassed a certain amount of knowledge and experience. I don't know if y'all can hear this, but there's an ice cream truck that was going through. I thought it was just going through my neighborhood, but I can tell now it's parked literally in front of my house. And the ice cream truck in my neighborhood plays exclusively Christmas music. It's pretty awesome. So, if you guys can hear that, just enjoy the joy of that sound. I guess, we're in spring and summer is right around the corner. So interesting. This is everything that's happening right now. And if we go deep into the relationship with the energy of this, these each there's a spirit to this card. There is Christmas music only. Christmas in April. This is everything that's happening right now. We are being called to look at things differently than the world has taught us how to look at it. How can this being, this soul, the cards aren't gendered, we can say he, she, they, how is this being able to see? But we know that they're seeing because this is very progressed. We're in the 9s. How is this person seeing? Do you see that there is a covering over the eyes? This person, according to what the world teaches us, is bound, is unable to see, is unable to use the main tools, the eyes and the hands and the arms that the world has taught us. This is how you get things done. This is how you get shit done on this planet. This is how you do it. And being invited into realizing I am not bound. I am not a prisoner. I am very free. And what I'm being called to do is use the tools that the world tries to get me to not be aware of, and tries to get me out of my power, and tries to get me out of that space, and tries to get me to not use those tools. And that the heart spaces open up. I can radiate from the heart space. The feet are free. I can move. And the way that I move on this planet is that I feel and I tap into all of my other senses. I don't have to use only one sense that the world tells me. Not that there's anything wrong with physical sight, but it's indicative, just as this card is, that we navigate through this world. And this is the thing that we are being called to do right now. This is everything that's happening right now. Is we are now stepping into a time where the way that we navigate this world is through our magical senses, is through our highest senses, is through, I know that probably most of you know about the clairs, which is our ability, our magical abilities that work through our physical senses. And so like one of the more well-known and spoken of clairs is clairvoyance, which is magical sight, right? So that's magical sight. But there's many other clairs, there's clairaudience. That's the one that I've always had the strongest, which is magical hearing. And there's clairgustance, which is magical taste. And there's clairalience, which is magical smell. And there's clairsentience, and there's claircognizance. And so we have these magical senses, which is our magical powers that work through the physical senses. And the world says, okay, you need to use your hands, and you need to use your feet, and you need to use your eyes, and you need to only believe what you see, but only through what lens and through only what eyes. And this is how you do things on this planet, and this is how you do things in this society. And if you don't do it that way, you're bad, sick, and wrong. And, you're a witch, and we're going to burn you at the stake, or you're going to get vilified, or you're going to get arrested, or you're going to not have what you need to have, or we're going to withhold from you safety and security, or A, B, C, D, all the way. And the symbolism of these cards. Only pulled 3, and this is 2 of them. The symbolism of these cards is an invitation to go to the magical senses and to realize that in that place and in that space, I have every tool that I need plus more. I have so many more tools, so much more power than I do by doing it the way that the world, that society tells me I must do it. And it's hard to talk about using only words, using only human language words. It is hard to convey the energy of these cards. If you go into relationship with what it actually feels like imagine that one of the main tools, one of the main things that society says that we have to do, like just pick yours. You have to be A, B, and C, or you have in society in order to be right, or in order to be safe, or in order to fit in, or in order for, you to be doing it right. Just pick one of those things. You have to be this kind of person. You have to act in this kind of way. You have to adopt this kind of belief system. Now imagine that you just, for whatever reason, you absolutely cannot do that. You cannot access that sense or that way of being able to do things, and you have to find another way. Some spirit guide of yours comes and puts a blindfold on, but puts a covering over these eyes and says, use the rest of your senses, use the rest of your magical abilities to navigate through this situation, to navigate through the world. And then what you end up finding out is, not only was I able to walk through this situation, was I only able to do everything I needed to do, but I flew like a motherfucking dragon through this situation. We're waking up these magical senses of ours and these powers of ours, And again, I mentioned her at the beginning, her ceremony that I joined, Natoya Hall and Jen Marumba. Natoya Hall, she has a magic school that I participated in. That was like 2 or 3 years ago now, called Mosque. And in that, she goes deep into the clairs. And so a lot of this, I knew a lot about the clairs already, but then when I took that, I was like, whoa, the clairs are a whole nother thing. But it literally is our magic abilities, our magical powers, and how they work through the physical senses. And that those are waking up. And this is an invitation to navigate through this life and this time right now in a different way than what society, or what this world tells us, like how we have to do it. And then we find out it's uncomfortable and it's weird. And it's like, wait, what's going on? And how do I do this? And then these other senses and these other powers, they're already awake, they're already activated. That's what's happening right now. But we realize by playing with them a bit and using them a bit, whoa, not only do I have this, but I'm really good at this. That's a lot of what's happening right now. And then it becomes our primary way of walking through this world. And again, here we have the same symbolism with the covering over the physical eyes. But what I love about this card, my tarot teacher called this the mini high priestess card. Or it's kind of like not a different person. It's high priestess, but like in her 20s, like in her early 20s, the high priestess. And again, we've got swords here, brain chemistry, an invitation to look at things through a different lens. When we're doing brain chemistry work, whether we're doing it at a level 1 or at a level at 100, whatever it is, we are merging the conscious and the unconscious minds, which is the point of it all, right? I mean, that's ascension. The merging of, that's polarity resolution. We can call that so many different things. Brain chemistry work swords is very brain chemistry-y. And what I love about this is she is not crossing like this, like I am closed. I am covering my heart space. I'm a closed off person. It is symbolic of the place where they intersect is the place where I reside. The place where they intersect is the place where my focus is. The place where they intersect, and we know, obviously, that there's so much symbolism to an intersection, to a crossroads. Hello, Hecate much? Fellow witches, come on. I see you. The place where they intersect, that crossroads, is where all the answers come from, and where that is where the truth of how I walk through, how I navigate through, how I see my way through, how I'm seeing right now, even though my physical eyes are closed, how I see my way through every situation. And then the third card that was pulled, don't quote me on this, but kind of quote me on this. I think I am almost positive this is the only card in the deck that is not an ace, where there is something being delivered, like a hand that is coming out of a cloud. But you know, on all of the aces, there's a hand coming out of a cloud, and the hand is trying to deliver something. And we are being invited to look at things differently. You know, something is being delivered here, and this person is not open to it because it doesn't look the way that the world has taught this person things get delivered. Things don't get delivered that way. That's not real. And the hand is like, literally, just give me a little space. I'm trying to drop this right in your lap. I'm trying to deliver this to you, this abundance to you. And you can't explain it the way that the world, that society says, this is how it works. This is how it works. Like, how is your life possible? How are you able to do this? How are you able to do this? All of us magical people, there's people that are wondering, how do they do it? How are they able to do this part of it or this part of it? And we're like, I don't know, like a magical hand that came out of a cloud just dropped it in my lap. But I was the one that was in co-creation with it, and I can't explain it in a way that you're going to understand. Not you to you guys, but you know, if you're talking to someone that is operating according to only, like, trying to understand the world, trying to navigate through the world through the lens of the ego, or, you know, solely through the lens of the frontal lobe, you know. And this, I don't even know why I pull cards anymore. This is exactly what's happening right now. This is what we're going to do. Here we go. This is exactly what's happening right now. Exactly what's happening right now. What wants to be delivered and the medicine for it. You know, I'm stepping into this new container, as I've been saying, where previously the way that I've been living my life and the way that I have been receiving money and other forms of high vibrational resources and abundance has been like through a certain way. And in that container, I received to the highest that I could get. It was at the highest frequency it could get. And I don't just mean money wise. I mean freedom wise. I mean abundance in life. I mean, as far as quality of life, as far as how I feel as a free, autonomous person, as far as me being able to make further progress on the mission, which I'm here to complete. You know, there's so many things to that. Not just money, and money is also part of it. And I reached the ceiling of that, and I knew that's why I started sweating it in December, even though there was no signs as far as getting an email or a text or things like that from someone else. I was just like, oh God, I'm going to leave this container. I'm getting ready to graduate this container, but this container has become so comfortable for me, you know? It's like the hermit crab shedding the shell and going into a new shell, and it's wonderful news, but it feels vulnerable and it feels scary, and it feels, you know, then finally when you get into the new shell, you're just like, what the fuck? How do I work this in here? It's really beautiful in here, and it's much more expansive, but like, how do I navigate this, you know? It's, I could sense that coming, and then got launched into it in a very 3D way at the end of February. And all of the messages that I've been getting are about, it's time to go into the new container. And the new container is filled with nothing except for more freedom, more expansiveness, more abundance. It's just more expansive. It's just higher frequency in every way. Okay, yay, sounds like good news. But because in this old container, I had already experienced up to the highest vibration that it could go to, in order to bust through that, it was like, I couldn't imagine anything that was better than this container that I was in. This container that I was in, I was like, wait, you're telling me more freedom? More abundance? More expansiveness? Is that possible? But like on this planet, is it possible? Like, I know it's possible as a soul. I know it's possible as I'm, you know, astro traveling and skipping among other realms and dimensions. But on this planet, in this body, in this timeline, that's possible more? And there, messages I kept getting are just like, oh yeah, you're going to see, we're going to show you. And it's been about me shedding in order to cross the threshold, things have to be shed. We can't cross thresholds with things in our hands and things in our pockets and a backpack on full of stuff. We cross thresholds naked with hands outstretched, with palms open and hands outstretched. And for many months, I was existing in that threshold space, which is a really weird space. It's the space of everything, and it's the space of nothing. It's the space of the in-between, but it's also the space of it all. It's like when you're standing right in the doorway in that threshold, you haven't fully left the room that you've walked out of. You haven't fully left it yet. Your energy field is still expanding into that room. You can still remember the memories of that room. You can still smell the smells of that room. You can still kind of just peek and see that room. So it's like you're in that room still, but like you're not in the room anymore at the same time. And you can see the new room, and you can even smell the new room. You can like feel the new room. Your energy field's already expanding into the new room. You're in the new room, but you're also not in the new room yet. It's the space of the in-between. It's like the void. It's the space of nothing and everything. It's the space of nothingness and everythingness. It's the space of it all. But you're in the threshold, and being in that place, every single thing that I had to learn was the only way to walk into the new container and to like walk into the new room, to actually take real steps into the new room, is to do it this way, and is to do it this way. And then I say, well, okay, but why? And they're like, well, because something's trying to be handed to you, and we need you to just uncross your arms. And we don't walk over and through thresholds with backpacks on, with all of our stuff in it and stuff in our hands and stuff in our pockets. We walk through thresholds naked, vulnerable, but with power and trust, with palms open and hands outstretched. And it's the medicine of what's being asked of us and what we're being called to do. And what this time is forcing, the witches, the light workers, the way showers, the path pavers, the healers, the liberators, the alchemists, the magicians, the witches. I said witches twice, but it's what we're all being gently pushed to do, invited into. And it's uncomfortable, and it's awesome, and it's at times maddening, and it's super fascinating, and it's the most rewarding path I know I have ever walked. And, I don't know how many of you get into human design. In human design, I'm a generator, Taurus, but also my life path, I think it's the 3-5, my brain is blanking right now. But I'm called the Great Life Experimenter. It's that one. It's like, I have to try every path, okay? I have to try everything, okay? Gemini rising, Gemini Venus. I have to try everything. And in my life, can I say I've tried everything? No, I'm 44, turning 45. I'm not, 700. Well, I mean, we'll get into that another time. But this is the most rewarding path. And the thing that I have found is that all the paths are hard, and all the paths have rewards. Not all paths have rewards, but all the paths are hard. I heard something recently that, well, I heard, it was in between sleep and awake, and my guides came to me, and it was like back in February when I was really like in a triggered state and going through some kind of dark nights of the soul, getting into that energy, many nights of the week. And I knew what I was walking through, but yeah, it's still hard. And I kept hearing and feeling, I call it my guides, I call it my team, it's likely my highest self, and it's like tomato, tomato, it's all of it. But I kept hearing, well, if you're going to be anxious and you're going to be scared, you may as well try something new. You may as well do something that brings you joy. You may as well do things that you enjoy. You may as well do things that matter to you in your heart, rather than sitting and doing nothing and being scared. Like, if you're going to be scared, you may as well do something that matters to you and feeds your heart, rather than just like doing nothing and still being scared, you know? And maybe that's my Capricorn moon logical self that's just kind of like finds a way to logically talk myself into taking the leap, into doing it. But it's like, if we're here on this planet, we're the courageous journeyers. And if we're gonna do this, like, let's fucking do this then. Like, if we're gonna do this, let's do this, you know? And I keep waiting for some outside thing to happen, to be delivered to me. You know, I started shuffling the cards again, but you know, that card, like the hand coming through the cloud, delivering. I keep waiting for some magical thing, this guarantee to be delivered to me. And then I realize, like, that is just so funny. That's so funny how us humans do that, right? Or how our human minds go into that. I'm the guarantee. I'm the one that's writing the script. I'm the one that's co-creating it with spirit. I'm the one that's the director of this all for my own life. I'm the one that moves the ball down the field 1 yard at a time based off of how much my own sovereignty, autonomy, and power that I claim. I'm the guarantee. I'm the guarantee. And I'm waiting for some guarantee. I've just been waiting for myself. And then, of course, as that happens, I pull Wheel of Fortune, which is one of my life cards. And I am in a Wheel of Fortune year personally. The collective is in a 9 year, which is the Hermit. Me personally, I'm in a Wheel of Fortune year. So that you can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. Hey guys, I'm the guarantee. You're the guarantee. We keep waiting for this guarantee to be delivered to us. This, you know, job offer, or this person saying, I want to be in a relationship with you, or this client saying, I want to obtain your services, or this, you know, bank saying, I'm going to give you this money, or whatever it is. And we're like waiting for that until we feel safe to move along, until we feel like, okay, now I can start my work. I mean, I'm just speaking for that's what I do, or what I have done. And the point is, but wait, I'm the guarantee. My guides, the universe, source energy is the bank. And I trust them more than I do anybody else, you know, in the 3D realm on this planet that like works in those, you know, corporate America realms. The universe, my guides, my team, that's the bank. Okay. And the thing that is the stamp that gives the guarantee is me. Wonder if this is making sense. I ask that it be energetically conveyed, not just through words, because that's how we do. So I just wanted to touch base. There was no real agenda. There was no real like, oh, I have this burning message I want to share. I wanted to touch base. I wanted to tap in with community and with other like-minded and like-hearted souls and kin and community and kin. And I'm going to do a post about it, but you know, anything that I can actually just like say is going to be easier for me than something I have to type out or create, but I'll create something too. There's a day and a half left to register for the new moon ceremony. No, it's the energy exchange is on a sliding scale from $13 to $33. No one will be turned away for lack of funds. So if that is a thing, then just DM me. And, you know, you can be on camera, you can be off camera, you can share, you can not share, you can put things in the chat, you cannot put things in the chat. The thing about these new moon ceremonies that means so much to me and that I am so committed to is it is a safe container. It is a safe space for people to feel held and seen and to go into a space where they can know I am safe here. I am safe here. And so if that zings you, go ahead and check it out. Link in bio. And I'm going to see, I don't remember if when I post lives, you can post numerous pictures too. I'll see if I can post a picture of the tarot spread, which we just pulled 3, but wow, how perfect were they? And beautiful, beautiful and amazing blessings to you all on this Friday evening. It is gorgeous where I'm at in Salt Lake City. The weather has been so beautiful today. The wind has been blowing, you know, white and pink blossoms off the tree. It's been just very fairyland, magical, mystical. I love it so much. And Beltane is upon us. Beltane is right around the corner. We're really in the energy of it now. So April 30th, over the threshold into May 1st, is when I observe it. I know a lot of people observe it kind of differently, but you know, blessed Beltane for you. Blessed Beltane. Hi, I love you. Long time no see. Yeah. Now is the point where you will see me struggle to try to remember how to close the live. I love you all.